for us.
Yeah, and at the same time, last night there were moments where he's dropping between the two central midfielders to drop deep to take the ball and start there. His intelligence is ridiculous. His game intelligence is just absolutely ridiculous at the moment.
Just going back to your point, when you were saying earlier about he would have had probably a lot more goals and assists earlier in the season. And I think it was players getting on his wavelength, not him trying to get on other players' wavelength. I think he was ahead, streets ahead of everyone else.
Well, there was a good point made on the pink last night. I can't remember who made it. But it was the idea that now when Salah gets the ball, Salah's first thought now is where's Wirtz, and the way it used to be where's
That's everyone's first thought now, though, is where's Wirtz.
Give it to him.
Yeah.
Give it to him and something will happen.
Yeah, I did like Steven Gerrard at half-time just keep saying, they just need to keep passing to this. It's like sometimes tactics are just that easy. What do you think they should do differently? Pass to him more.
I thought it was great from Gerrard when he said what he looks for in any game is which player he'd like to play with, and he's like, I'd love to play with him.
Yeah.
But also, give him the ball and see things happen.
Yeah, but it was interesting also when he was saying, like, he doesn't want to come and get it. Like, let McAllister and Gravenberch do that and just stay up because we... That was the thing with Stevie, I remembered, and he had to learn to trust the players behind him when he was in that 8 role, or for him it's a 10 role you call it now. And as soon as he got Alonso, he was fine. He was happy then because he knew Alonso and then later Mascherano would feed him the ball. And that's the thing with Wirtz. We need to make sure that he's in a position long term where he's going to hurt the opposition, because it's all well and good, beating your man or doing some nice footwork in your own half. You can hurt people around the box, and this is how we're going to beat these low blocks, and this is how we're going to create opportunities against this team who are making it hard, like Sunderland managed to for the most of the games. It's by getting him in areas of the pitch where the opposition don't want him.
Well, that's what's so good about having that pivot where with Macca and Gravenberch in there and just saying, listen, you stay there, you operate in that space between us, between our front three, because you're the link to everything that's going on here. Because like you say, we're not getting much of Salah, we're not getting much of Gakpo in there, so everything has to go through him. And I think this summer is critical that we provide a proper six, a proper protective six, if you like, in behind him. Because we've got the goalkeeper, we've signed a centre half, we've got the 2 strikers, we've got Wirtz. I think we're just missing that 6 behind him, potentially to take us into next season.
Yeah,
and have that spine.
I think I agree with that, Jimmy. I think this is the midfield. I like them all as individuals, but I think if Wirtz is going to work as a 10, and I think that's where we all want him. Yeah. I think you've just sort of got to bulk it up a little bit, and that's not to talk down any of the players we've got. And listen, the midfield as a combination worked really well last season, but that was as a combination, as a free. Wirtz is more attacking. We want him to be more attacking. He's not going to be around the pitch sort of like Szoboszlai was, so you need to compensate a bit more, and if that means a bit less game time for some good players, or maybe even moving one of them on if you feel like it has to, it looks like that's probably going to be Curtis, then sort of so be it, because I think we need to find a way to get him in the centre, because he's the future of the football club, and I think it'd be a real shame if we have to move him out wide because we can't get that midfield balance right. We need to get that balance right behind him, and I agree with Dan. It's probably getting someone who is that little bit more imposing in whatever way that is.
There's 100% a plan for that, and I look at the juxtaposition of the midfield three last season, and I'd say we've seen it a lot in the beginning of the season. People were going, just go back to basics, go back to Gravenberch, Szoboszlai and McAllister as a flat three, and let's be solid, let's be structured. But no, fuck that. Put Florian Wirtz in there. I don't care who's behind him. Put him in the heart of that midfield. He's the nucleus to our team. He's what we need to keep us ticking. There's been seasons where we've been crying out for a creative 10, because the last one we had was Coutinho. Yeah. It's been a good 10 years since we've been crying out for a creative 10. We've now got him. People are saying, let's just go back to basics, or let's put him up left. No, he's the best player we've got in this team at the minute, by far. Technically, he is so good. But I look at the signings that we've made in the summer, and there's 100% a plan for it. There's no way you buy 2 top-class number 9s and a 10 like that, and there's no plan for it. I think
you've got to have a plan of how you're using them, whether it's a triangle at the top or whether you think Ekitike pulls up to the left.
But then that goes back to Dan's point, where you get a solid 6. You go to a down midfield, you get a solid 6. You have one of Gravenberch, McAllister, Szoboszlai and Jones. You've got 4 there. You can rotate, and then you keep Wirtz, and whoever that 6 is, you can just keep chopping and changing. Then you've got 2.
And you're using your width with your fullbacks, because
but that's what Kirk has in front.
We almost need like an Endo type player, but better.
Yeah.
Yes.
And like a gnarly player, he's going to get stuck
How
in.
dare you? There's nobody better than Endo.
I know, speaking, especially after last night as well.
I was sad one. Like that was
Awful.
That was the only really negative of the night. You know, there's only really positives, but for Endo, the fact that he injured himself, putting in a great challenge at the back post. You know, it's a really dangerous ball. Liverpool have just scored. You know, suddenly Sunderland are spared into action. They put this great ball in, and he's stretching, isn't he? And he's injured himself, putting his body on the line, and then the fact that he chose to get back up when he must have been in agony just because he wants to give enough time for that sub.
Yeah.
It just sums him up.
Do you know what something put as well with the fact that Sunderland obviously got in at half-time after we were in the ascendancy. The manager clearly said, they've got a makeshift right back in here. We hadn't attacked him once. And I think they had about, first 5 minutes they come out, they put about 2 or 3 attacks together. Every single one were down their left at Ender, and he stood up to every single one. And then, like you said, just we scored. They put us on the back foot a little bit. We dropped off. We invited a bit of pressure. The clearance they made was absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
To actually get there, to kind of just take it away for a corner, and then to actually get up and want to play on, which looks like an awful injury as well. You know, a fair play.
It looks like ligaments, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It looks like a season end.
Well, I was reading like a physio thing today on Instagram. It was like, if it's this. I thought, and one of them, like, if it's the worst one, he could be out for 3-4 months plus. Yeah, so
The fact he got the stretches off as well, and that takes a lot for them.
Yeah.
The fact he got up.
There was oxygen and everything, but I think he must know he's bad. I think he's aware of what happened the other week where we were down to 10 and conceded, and I think he's just thinking, listen, I know I'm fucked here, but I'm not going off until someone else is ready to come on.
No, he's put himself absolutely on the line for it, but I think he could have stayed down. Staying down would have given somebody else the time to come on. I mean, it's like, he didn't look like he was actually physically capable of standing up, and he still stood up and still moved around.
we were defending the corner, weren't we? And he's in the box, hobbling around. You're like, just go down.
It's like when Carragher tried to walk off a broken leg.
Yeah,
Alonso was stamping it on the turf back when he played. Yeah.
It's just absolutely a mad thing too. But he'd been impeccable. He hadn't put a foot wrong, and you know, we've seen him have a couple of shaky games when he's had to come in. He's not been used, and it gives you everything. He's a proper professional. He has been since the day he signed for us, and you know, the fact that must be basically the end of his Liverpool career last night, I think, by the looks of it. But he's been excellent. You know, he's been a great servant. But credit also, Joe Gomez came on. Joe Gomez was absolute quality. Joe Gomez shows what you're.
That header that he put back to Alisson.
Yeah.
He's so calm, like it's unbelievable. And sometimes, like, it's a bit of a pain because it's like you're like, "Come on, Joe," like, you know what I mean? Like, you want him to get going a bit, but in those situations, he's perfect, isn't he? Because like the weather's mad, you know, they're starting to throw things at us, and he's just coming on like, "Just chill out, it's fine. I'll just head it back."
It's just his personality. You see him obviously around the training ground in the socials and stuff that the club put out, and he's the calmest man in the AXA.
Yeah, but it was what was needed when he come on. And listen, he's been such a great player for us over the years.
He's a good player.
He's our longest serving player, and he's been fantastic. And that was just another demonstration of it last night.
Yeah.
Touching on sorry to butt in, but jumping on your point with Gomez and Endo, I thought last night was just a really professional performance from everybody.
Yeah.
It was a in quotation marks, a mentality monsters performance that we've needed and we haven't done all season. You look at some of the games this season, we've got to 80 minutes and we've crumbled like a cheesecake. It's been terrible. Whereas this season,
I think you could have got a better example of that.
Probably could have, but
cheesecake. You don't want to associate that really. A cookie.
A cookie, possibly.
Cookie crumble.
Crumbling like a crumble might be. Yeah,
that's a better analogy. Crumble. But no, like I said, I thought there's been times we've got to 80 minutes and we've absolutely crumbled.
Our heads have gone.
Whereas last night it was so professional, it was so mentally strong, and we dug in and we dug deep. The fact there was an 8 minute, was it 7 or 8 minutes at a time?
7, and then they obviously do a little.
And then they played even more. We were absolutely outstanding.
I liked about when you were talking about 80 minutes. Then I like the manager's decisions to make some subs rather than reacting because something had gone on in the game. It was like, you can see people are flagging. You can see Ekatike is gone. Jones needed to come on because he retains the ball so well for us. We needed to keep the ball in midfield. And he actually made subs at the right time.
He got them spot on last night.
Yeah, he did, yeah.